Hey guys, Adam the Paranormal Polynesian here, and in this series we're going to go over some of the most haunted hotspots around the country. This is what I like to call the top 5 haunted hotspots that you can visit in your city. Now I'd be a dick if I didn't start off with the one I live in, which is Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City, capital of the Beehive State and situated at the base of the beautiful Wasatch Mountains, and home of the only Dave & Buster's I know of where you have to leave your drink at the bar before you go out on the arcade and play air hockey. But don't worry, you can throw axes and drink beers at other establishments. Makes perfect sense. Now, being a paranormal investigator for years, I've been to pretty much all of the hot spots in Salt Lake City, but I'm going to share the top 5 that you can actually go and visit without breaking any laws. If you do decide to go and visit some of these places, please be respectful and don't do any stupid shit, okay? Our first stop on our paranormal tour is the Capitol Theater in Salt Lake City. Located at 50 West and 200 South, this gorgeous theater was open to the public back in August of 1913. It's actually a really cool theater for its time because it had air conditioning, it was fireproof, and it was earthquake-proof. In 1949, during a show, a fire actually broke out in the basement. There were over 600 patrons there at the time that were able to escape. Now, a 17-year-old usher by the name of Richard George Duffin, he did die from smoke inhalation that night. I think that's really sad because I used to be an usher there myself when I was the same exact age, so that's gotta suck, you know what I mean? Patrons report hearing voices, hearing sounds, and even seeing phantom smoke. He's supposedly especially active during the Christmas time production of the Nutcracker that they do there every year. I've spent many a night at this theater investigating with my old team members, and I will say that I have seen shadow figures. I've seen who I think could have been George in the basement. I've seen that smoke that kind of comes out of nowhere. I don't know, just being a singer myself and having performed in theaters for years, I just kind of love this theater. It's gorgeous, the architecture's beautiful, and I recommend everyone go and check it out. But pay first, don't just walk on in, you crazy fool. And if you do make it into the theater, be sure to look up at that gorgeous chandelier. I've seen colored orbs of light floating around with my eyes in the dark, so check this theater out if you love history. It's a beautiful old building, and I love that it's still standing and it's there for everyone to enjoy. Number 2 on our list is the Salt Lake City Cemetery. Located in the Avenues district of Salt Lake City, the Salt Lake City Cemetery is huge. Again, this is another haunted spot that I've spent many a night investigating with permission, okay? Keyword, permish. And I've seen everything from full-bodied apparitions, shadow figures of children. Daddy. Y'all know how I feel about kids, ghost kids. On one particular creepy night with my colleague Jim, on our walkie-talkies, which were set to a very specific frequency for our team, we did hear a little girl talking to us, laughing and crying, saying stuff about it being dark, which... A few graves of note that you should definitely check out if you can find them is one for Lilly E. Gray. As you can see on this small little 12 by 24 grass marker, it says Victim of the Beast on it. The first time I saw that headstone, I was like, not today, Satan.
Not today.
I was like, what the fuck? And there are so many theories as to what this means. Anywhere from she was possessed by a demon, to her husband murdered her, to government testing. But, you know, upon further research over the years, I've found that her husband Elmer might have been a little bit of a batshit crazy nut job. I'm thinking he probably just put that on there, and his whole reason behind it was he was in trouble with the law quite a bit throughout his life, and I think he's sort of blaming the government on his wife's death, even though she died of natural causes. We may never know, but it's still a creepy little headstone to find. The grave that you should go and find if you can, just because it's freaking awesome looking, is called Emo's Grave. Now, you won't see the word emo on this grave anywhere. I don't know where that name came from. It is Jacob Moritz. That's the name of the person who's interred there. Very successful politician and businessman who ran a brewery, and he was very well loved by both Jewish and Mormon leaders in the community. They say that if you hold a candle and walk around his grave saying emo 3 times, that a pair of red eyes will peer out from the crypt. Now, since so many people have gone and screwed around this grave, they've actually covered up the window that you can look into in the crypt. So they say that now the red eyes will appear over to the side of the crypt if you walk around 3 times. Because, you know, you gotta stay current with the times. He's located on the corner of about 4th Avenue and 990 East. Regardless of what creepy story you find with these headstones, I recommend just going during the day, walking around. It'll take you hours to see all of the place. And the view of the valley below is worth the price of admission. So go check it out. Number 3 on my list is the music venue named The Depot. Located at 13 North and 400 West, The Depot is, you know, one of the most premier music venues here in Salt Lake City. It's actually very historic. There have been legends that have performed there, from B.B. King all the way up to Dua Lipa recently did a concert. Now, this is gonna sound crazy, but
the women's restroom is haunted as shit.
That's right. The toilets are haunted at this place. My old paranormal investigating group and I have gone there, and this place is haunted. I don't know what else to tell you. This building is probably one of the most haunted places I visited. As I'm in between sort of moving to a new house, I don't have my hard drive with a lot of my evidence and pictures, but I'm going to try and find that and do another video later. But there's something violent upstairs in the women's restroom. It's just a long restroom full of stalls. I've sat in there in the middle of the night, watched the stalls slam open. I've seen the sinks turn on by themselves. The one thing that I'll never forget, leaving the women's restroom to the long hallway, and I was just standing in the hall, and I thought I saw my friend Jim again walk right past me, which would have been impossible because that wall, it was like a 50-foot drop down to the main train station area. So I literally saw a man walk through the wall into the wall of the women's restroom right in front of me, solid as a normal person. Scared the living hell out of me. Whether you go to the Depot, the Union Pacific building that it's located within, or if you go down the street to the Rio Grande, which is also a train station, any of those locations are full of history and full of ghosts. People be coming through walls and shit. I hope you're enjoying our top hotspots of Salt Lake City. If you want to keep seeing more videos like this, please like and subscribe so I can release more content. Number 4 on our list is the historic Peery Hotel. This 110-year-old 3-story prairie-style building is a great example of one of the earliest luxury hotels in the city. They also say it's home to the ghost of a woman who's always moaning out in the hallways. Yeah, I'm so sure it's a ghost. Ghost children running the halls, which, hey, I have heard that myself, so I'll give them that. And a tall, dark man who stands in doorways and disappears. Every Motel 6 that I've ever been stuck in during a snowstorm, so. I'll also never forget a Halloween night about 5 years ago when I was stopped at the light outside of the windows of the hotel, and I saw 2 guys dressed as dogs, just doing their thing. Just doing their thing and enjoying their lives, because it was Halloween, why not? I also did see a guy that looked like Jesus on that corner, so it was just a weird night altogether for everybody. People at the hotel say that the top floor happens to be the most haunted. That's also where all their penthouse suites are located. You do the math. The elevator is said to go to the wrong floor. And I did actually have an old colleague of mine shoot a video of a boy standing in one of the hallway mirrors. It's a pretty creepy place, but it's really beautiful. If you have some extra money lying around, go stay there a night. I'm sure they're dying to have you. Our fifth and final haunted hotspot to visit in Salt Lake City is the historic Trolley Square. The historic Trolley Square is exactly what it sounds like it was. Back in the 1870s, it was a depot that held train cars that were pulled by mules. By August of 1889, electric streetcars now took over and were the hottest thing to happen in Salt Lake City, I tell you what. I love a good streetcar. A streetcar named Desire. Step! The old trolley barn sat dilapidated over the years until about 1972 when the space was purchased and converted into a mall. The mall that many people know today. Now, I picked this location because, you know, it's good to support local shops, and this is a beautiful historic building, and there's a lot of cool stores that you won't find in most malls. So you should get out there and check it out. But of course, that shit is haunted. That mall has a lot of dark corners and corridors, and it's a very creepy place. If you love some good creep factor, go to this mall. Even during the day, it's got a vibe. I used to also work at the Gap in this mall, go figure. And I do remember coming in for work on my shifts and how clothes and merchandise would be moved in the middle of the night with no apparent reason. I mean, I actually saw things happen like this all the time. I've walked around this old Trolley Square by myself numerous times, and I've heard footsteps behind me where I was sure somebody was following me. Turned around and nothing was there. And I won't even get into the shooting that happened in 2007, one of the biggest mass shootings to ever happen in our country at that time. But even before that, this place was a haunted hotspot for sure. If you do go, please be respectful and check out my favorite store. It's called Cabin Fever, and they sell all sorts of crazy ass novelty shit, and I love it so much. It's where I get a lot of my Golden Girls memorabilia and books. And it's a really fun store where you can get some cool gag gifts for your friends at home. Aren't most malls haunted now? I mean, do people go to malls? Everyone does everything on Amazon nowadays. If anything, come to this mall because there's a Brazilian steakhouse where hot guys wear tight pants and serve you meat on sticks. I hope you enjoyed the top 5 haunted hotspots to visit in Salt Lake City. Now, don't give me any shit. I know there's other places that are haunted, and we'll go back and check them out. But check back every week. You never know what city I might be doing. Also, comment below with some of your favorite haunted places in the city that you live in, and I'll be sure to do a video of that as well. Have a great week, you guys, and don't forget to keep it paranormal. I'm Adam Tola, the Paranormal Polynesian. If you love Halloween, the Golden Girls, or just look damn good in a Hawaiian shirt, why don't you like and subscribe so you can get those notifications, girl? Tell all your friends about me, and keep it paranormal.